All right. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Happy Monday. I can't believe we are halfway through July, a little over halfway, wrapping up. Summer's wrapping up for some people. I know Tennessee starts school here in a couple weeks. I think Texas has a little bit more. Anyway, we are 15 days into, or 17 days in, excuse me, to our 90-day challenge, which is what we are talking about and focusing on this evening. So whether you're here live or you're watching on Facebook or the recording, we're so glad that you're here. So if you missed what the 90-day challenge was, our new CEO, Travis, put out a challenge to those that were in Chicago, challenging everybody to talk to one person a day over the next 90 days. Whether that be about product or business. So the challenge is running from July 1st to September. No, it would be October 1st, I guess. Yeah, October 1st. Sorry, quick math there. Not so good, not so quick. So challenge running over the next 90 days. So we've got some amazing ladies. They're going to be sharing that are participating in this challenge. And I will drop this link below, but this is the fun little tracker that you can print out. Terry always talks about having visuals and something in your hand that you can look at and see every single day. And so I want to challenge and encourage you that if you're going to participate in this challenge, to have this out and print it and cross it off every single day that you participate. And here's what I'm going to tell you too. Even if you are, 17 days late, I'm honestly 5 days behind on this because I was traveling and it was a little crazy for me at the beginning of the month. You can still just commit to doing 90 days. You just stop the challenge when you hit the 90-day mark. So there's grace, giving yourself grace in that, and not being like, oh, I'm going on vacation this week or this, which kind of ties into the resistance conversation, which we talked about last week with Terry. And so I'm going to have these ladies share with me tonight. And one thing that I'm going to ask them to share with me is maybe how resistance is showing up for them. And so what I'm going to tell you is if resistance is showing up for you, it means you have set your mind on a goal and your mind is like, I don't want to do that. And so to push through that, to grow, to become a better version of yourself, to grow your business, you have to push through that resistance. So that's a little bit about the challenge. If you commit and decide tomorrow that you're going to do it, you might notice a million excuses come up when you go to reach out to that one person. And I'm just going to encourage you to push through that. So, okay, Pamelia, I'm going to call, I didn't really tell the ladies what order I was calling on them. So I'm just putting everybody on the spot. So Pamelia, I'm going to call on you first. So, if you don't mind unmuting yourself and then sharing a little bit about kind of what you've experienced in the challenge, maybe any wins you've had, and then has resistance shown up for you in any way?
Okay. So I started this actually on July 1st and did go on vacation on July 2nd, but decided that, I was like, oh, I can just play catch up. And because that's what my brain does. And looked at it and said, oh my God, we've got 21 people on this rafting trip. I easily can speak to one person a day. And whether speaking about Juice Plus or just, starting a relationship with people, because it used to be, I would stop myself because I thought I always had to be talking about the product. So I can start relationships. And right now, looking down, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people from the trip, from the days that we were on there. Some of them, those were on the rafting trip. Some people were in the airport. One was, always the Lyft driver because that's good at midnight, right? When we came in. But what happens to me is resistance shows up like this. I say I'm going to do this and I've got to follow up with these people, but I may reach out to that one person, but I won't follow up with the other people after. Because I'm like, they're not going to want to hear from me. And I'm going to call out Miss Amy Hopkins on here because I've had people all of a sudden, my funnel is getting very full. So if you're at conference, I'm trying to say this quickly, Stacy Whitmer said you have your memory jogger, you have your 10 hot people, and then you have the people that you're signing up and on. So I have not been doing it perfectly, but I've been doing that. I have got that list of 10 people. And if They're not replying. They're going back on the memory jogger. And right now I'm just pulling the people that I put on the memory jogger for my trip. And I'm following up with those people. I'm talking to them. And I had a woman who's been on shakes forever, said, I think I'm ready for the red and green stuff. All of a sudden sends me a text out of nowhere. Amy and I box her several million times a day. And, so Amy was coming up with, can I make a recommendation? So I just sent her that message. Can I make a recommendation? And she goes, oh yeah, I'm open to anything. And I said, we do sports. You play tennis with me. The berries is really about the antioxidants, the anti-inflammatory, and your heart health. And she's like, well, what's that going to cost me more? And how does that affect the children's health study? Oh, when she said the red and green, then I mentioned the children's health study too. So I'm just trying to, so she's getting on the threesome, because Amy hates it when I say the threesome. She's getting on the threesome, sorry. So she's getting on that. She's doing the children's health study, and she goes, I may have to back off it sometime, but I know she won't, because I know that these people, once they get on it, if they take it consistently, no one comes off of it. So I'm just trying to be bold, and it does cause hot flashes when I do that, even though my house is much cooler than yours. I get the sweaty palms. But I'm just determined to do one thing. And when Terry came up with this challenge, I just say yes. Anytime there's a challenge, I say yes, and then I figure out how I'm going to do it. Because if I sat and thought about it for a minute, I would come up with ways not to do it. So that's where resistance comes in. That's where nagness comes in. And I just say yes. I do have boundaries, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to a challenge here, I'm even going to have a sourdough event. I am making sourdough bread, and my son, who is like the foodie, was here when we were away, and he's like, oh my God, that was the best sourdough bread. So I put cinnamon in it. That was it. That's my term. So I just say yes. And I know if I say never, that I'm going to end up doing it. And I had said I will never do a sourdough. I don't do that. I'll go and buy it. So that's why I ended up doing it.
I love it.
But that's what it is. It's just, as soon as your brain wants to say no, just say yes. Unless you're really busy and you're volunteering for 15 different things. But as far as the simple challenge of picking up the phone, and I got to the point, I'm telling you, I really don't care. You want to cancel it, you want to do whatever. I'm using the board's app for rejections, and someone is now not canceling because all I did was take the verbiage. Why did you start? And it had 3 questions and a video.
I love it.
So just using what's there, and just not being attached to the outcome, which is really hard. I'm not so much a God person, but I'm a higher power person. And I say a prayer every morning, show me who needs to hear this. And then when I start to care what they think, I ask that to be removed. So that's it.
I love it. Thanks, Pamelia. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. I think that's so powerful. And I think too, another thing that reminded me of that as Pamelia was sharing, I said yes to this challenge, and I'm constantly, I don't know if you guys feel like this sometimes, but as you're growing your list and expanding your memory jogger, sometimes I feel like I hit a little bit of a wall and I'm like, oh my gosh, who am I going to talk to? Like, you feel like you've talked to so many people and you're struggling with names and you're struggling with who. And so obviously that's a form of resistance, is like, oh my gosh, who am I going to talk to? But during this challenge, I have had people come to me and say, hey, I want to hear more about Juice Plus and I want to talk about Juice Plus. So the power in saying yes to something and committing and showing up every day, and then your brain telling you, oh my gosh, you don't have any people to talk to, or, oh my goodness, you've made this list and this list isn't going to last you 90 days. So you may not have 90 people on your list, but I'm going to tell you, wake up every day and ask God, wherever you are in your faith journey, who to talk to, and that person's going to come and show up. Because you are growing, you're serving others with that prayer and posture. So thanks so much for sharing, Pamelia. Okay. Let's go to Amy. Are you good to go next? I didn't really give ladies an order. So if you would like to share just how resistance is showing up for you, and any wins you've had from the challenge.
You might want
Okay.
to, okay.
Okay. Yep. No worries, Amy. All right. We're going to move on to Sarah. You're next on my list. Are you good to go, Sarah? I feel
good.
bad. I'm just like totally calling. They're like, who's going to get called?
Yeah, it's like playing a game. Thank you so much. Okay, so there's so many good points so far. Thanks, Pamela. Resistance, how's it showing up for me? Well, a few nights ago, I had a massive anxiety attack. I would say that was pretty good resistance. You know, just in the middle of the night, like, and I'll tell you why I had the attack. So just juggling a lot of things. I have a full-time job and then, you know, working my Juice Plus business, and been taking Juice Plus for 13 years and always try to sort of lift off and just never quite did, and get a couple customers, some drop off, you know, and that's kind of been the way it's been. And then started this challenge, and the challenge has been super fun. Now, I sort of started doing it even before I heard Travis give this challenge, which was kind of bizarre. But what I did was I just keep this like little book by my my computer and where I work and on my desk, and I listed all the dates. And then next to the dates, and as people come up, I write their names down. And so as I mention it to people, I write their names down, and that way I can go back and be like, you know what, I've been bugging that guy for a while. Like, what's going on? And then I'll hit another email, or I'll send another text, or send a video. And so I just kind of keep this running list. And what's been miraculous is that I now have 3 people who have said yes to the to being partners, and 2 are mother-daughter, and they're going to be a powerhouse. And I'm so excited. One has been my dear, dear sweet friend for over 20 years, and finally got her on Juice Plus. And then her daughter came on board, and I forgot completely, which is so insane. I completely forgot that she's been a nurse. Like, she's kept her nursing credentials her whole life. She does insurance now, and that's how we met a long time ago. But it was just really funny. Like tonight, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, you were a nurse. I'm like, here's a video. So
cool.
Terry's going to be doing a training for them. And then my other sweet friend just started doing Juice Plus. And she teaches women financial freedom. And then I said to her, you know what? I'm like, your daughter-in-law's going to have a baby. I'm like, you know, I'm sure you want to do this business. She goes, oh yeah, totally. And I'm like, great. I'm like, you know, let's get you on the training. Does this work? Yeah. So now I've got 3. And I sent out some shake samples, and I have another person I'm trying to get, and just a few more. And so it's kind of like, so back to my anxiety attack, my major resistance in the middle of the night, all of a sudden, which has always been my fear. What if they say yes, right? What if it all of a sudden takes off? Oh my gosh, I can't handle this. I'm juggling too much. I can't do this. So I was freaking out. So that's when I definitely called God in. I was like, you wouldn't have given me this if you didn't think I could handle this. So I need you, help me to stay calm and focused and whatever. So yeah, so every day I think there is that. And so that gets balanced with people need this. I'm offering a gift. And, you know, one of the people that signed up, she ran into some health things, and she may, you know, cancel and whatever. And same thing with Camellia. It's like, okay, I'm not attached to this outcome, and I'm not putting a lot of energy into this. And all I can do is bring it to somebody and share, you know, education with them. And I know they really need it, but that's okay. And if it's not a good time for them, or if it's not going to work for them, or maybe they said yes too quickly, or maybe they're not ready for the financial impact of it, or whatever it is, it's okay. It's really okay. And it's much better to lead with love, and to be compassionate, and to walk away gently. And then, you know what, they may be back. So that's all right, you know. But it really has been really kind of fun. And what I'm realizing is that the bigness of it, and what I've sort of admired about all you guys and watching teams grow over the years with Juice Plus, is just the fellowship and the friendship and the fun. And like, people just have so much fun with this. And I'm already been giggling because I've been on the phone between mother and daughter, and it's just been really, really fun. And I'm already thinking of fun events we can do together. And so it's just a wonderful, wonderful business. And so really all I can tell people is, it's always timing. It may not be the right time for you, and that's okay. It is about giving, yourself grace and doing this challenge, and it is a commitment. But if you make it fun and you think about creative ways, you can just bring it up in a conversation, because we all know everybody needs it, and some people need it a lot more than other people. And there's just a lot of creative ways you can talk about it. I like just got to get myself out in the morning. I was doing a walk this morning, and I was actually thinking about, somebody that lives near me who is elderly. And I was thinking, how could I explain this in a very simple way that's just, easy and digestible in terms of just, understanding. And I was just thinking like, hey, this is a natural supplement I do. It's a 4-month commitment because it really, can show how it works over time. And, this might help you with your inflammation. And, what do you think? Is that something you might want to try? Like, it just kind of came out in my head, and I'm like, wow, that sounds non-threatening. Like, it's like, it's cool. Oh, it's fine. So anyway, I don't want to go on, but that's kind of just my whole feeling right now. It's been a lot of fun, and just focusing on sharing and getting orders and making people, just understand that what we're offering is important, and it'll help them and their families. So
Absolutely. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. So I think the thing to remember is fun is contagious. So if you are having fun, people are going to sense that energy in you. And the other thing I think to remember too, which you brought this up, Sarah, and it just reminded me, is like, at the end of the day, when you walk away from a conversation with somebody, they're not going to necessarily remember everything you said. They're going to remember how you made them feel. And so if you made them feel valued and cared for in that moment, and like their health was a priority to you, somebody, unless they literally have no heart, is not going to say, screw you, I'll talk to you later. Like, that's just not. And if they do, then you probably don't want to hang out with them. So, I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. So if somebody's going to speak to me that way, then we probably won't be speaking anymore.
Well, absolutely. And
So-
you think about too, just being, how would you want to be cared for? How would you want to be talked to? And,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think. And P.S., I'm going to need that sourdough recipe, because I just found out the woman in our community who supplies all of us with sourdough, she's not going to do it anymore. So
Okay. Well, yeah, you need some sourdough.
I said to my husband, I think I'm going to have to start baking sourdough. So
I love it. I love it. We can hook you
thanks.
up. No problem.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
See ya. Thanks, Sarah. Okay. Amy, are you good to go, girl?
I'm good to go.
Yay. Okay. So similar question to what I've been asking everybody. How's the challenge been for you? Any, quick wins, and then how has resistance showed up for you?
The challenge has gone good for me, and I kind of set out to do it just a couple of months ago too, which is why I've been gaining momentum, because I've been planting seeds, because my seeds don't always come to fruition till later, right? So I bring it up and then I let go of that outcome, but I still ask for the sell. And that's where my fear comes in. That's part of my resistance. I'm like, oh, don't want to go there. Don't want to go there. And I just go there. You know what? I just, like somebody said the other night, do it scared. I just do it. And and if they say not right now, okay, I'm golden with that. I feel proud of myself for just asking, because that clarifies, because clarity is kind, right? So when you ask for the sale, it lets you know where that person's at on the scale. Are you going to keep them on your hot hands list? Or are you going to throw them back in the memory jogger? Where are they going to go? And so, my resistance shows up in the form of perfection. Perfection is still something I struggle with every day, because if I want to say something perfectly or do my reach out perfectly or whatever it is, then I don't have to act, because I just go into that shame spiral. Because if it can't be perfect, then I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. I just won't even do it in the first place. So I'm much better at putting that aside than I used to be. So that has been my resistance, is being willing to speak and just say it and do it imperfectly. like my goal right now, this 90-day challenge to me has been to talk about the community and the business every day, not just the product. And I got 3 quads this week, and just because I asked for the sale, and I was brave, and I started with the community because that's what I want to do. I don't know, I can talk product all day long. I sell people on their health all day long, but the community, the business, the team, I need team. I want team. I want people to do this with me. It's fun. It's super neat. And I was just listening to Holly Morris talk on a call with David Beavers, and she said, I love being part of a community who refines me. And that was, oh my gosh, I had to share that with y'all. And so, that's where we're at. That's what this community is. We lift each other as we rise together. I will be there. So I'm just reaching out to people today and talking about the community. I talk about conference. I tell them, yeah, twice a year, we get talking in a conversation. They say, what's coming up for you? And I'll say, well, in October, I'm going to conference, and it's not a conference. I just try, and I'm not perfect in it, and I just do it anyway. So that's where my 90-day challenge might be different, because I'm trying to build a team and my focus is there. And so that's it. That's all I got.
I love it. Thanks, Amy. Yeah, where you put your energy and your focus, that's where the things are going to grow. And so you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And so I think just letting go of perfectionism, which fellow perfectionist here, it's, just letting go of what you say. And I can mull over things over and over and over again when I say something to somebody and I'm like, oh my gosh, did I say the wrong thing? Oh my gosh. And then I just you can go down this hamster wheel. And so there's such freedom in being like, you know what? I said what I said, and that's that. And if they're supposed to be on the product right now, they will be. Or if they're supposed to be part of the community right now, they will be. So thanks for sharing, Amy. Okay, Nancy.
Sorry, I was having to highlight what Amy just said.
You're good. You're good. Okay. Win and then resistance.
So for me, I didn't know about the little thing on the computer, so I'm using my own little cute little chart.
I love it.
And I fell off being qualified for June, so I was like, well, I got to step it up. So why not make it a goal for 10 new AROs in July? And resistance for me has been like canceled events. I had a Friday night, I had a MOPS party scheduled and that got canceled. And so then, I had to fill it with something else. So I have a healing stretches and smoothies event tomorrow night. So I'm doing the smoothies for that. And then next Tuesday, I had a sourdough party scheduled and with 2 other affiliates, and they both decided, it was crazy time. And so they dropped out. And so I felt God telling me, make it a Buddha Bowl party, because I can do a Buddha Bowl party. I was still kind of stressed about, because a friend of mine did a sourdough workshop thing with me today, but I'm still not ready to do it by myself. So I've been thinking about you, Abby, but I'm like, I just don't want to screw it up. And then people will be like, oh, this flake, oh, that lady again, so.
That's resistance, Nancy.
I know. But I feel like I'm also learning to pivot, instead of 6 months or a year ago, I would have been like, okay, well, I'm just going to cancel it and, not do it.
Yes.
But instead I put another event there. So, I do feel like I'm growing, and, I'm also thinking a lot about what somebody on stage said about that she'd rather be judged by telling a friend too much about Juice Plus than by God for not saying enough.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I open my mouth, I think, wow, what if Jane Reed hadn't told me about Juice Plus? I don't know where I would have been. So, I feel like even if it's not for that person, they might know somebody that needs it and has been looking for that solution. And one of the ladies that came to my salad party last week, she called me a few days ago and we talked for like 42 minutes. And she said, well, I'm not going to be one of your customers, but she said, I loved the salad party and it really helped me eat more salad and, made me realize I really like veggies. And I said, that's awesome. I said, our goal really is to get people to eat more produce. And, and then she went on to tell me about her colon cancer friend that just had surgery and she was going on a trip with her. I was like, that's a good customer for me, so I feel like even the no's can be
Absolutely.
a yes from somewhere else. So, and, but yeah, the no's
love
not, the sourdough party's not a no. It's just a not yet.
I get it. I get
No.
it. You have to feel comfortable. I mean, yeah, you're teaching somebody a course and how to do something. So I understand that. I will tell you, like, even when if you tell yourself like, okay, I'm setting the date for August, back to school, I'm doing a sourdough, you're going to want to be super nervous. I was so nervous. I wish I should have recorded how nervous I was. I'm voice messaging Terry. I'm like, oh, I'm so nervous, Terry. What if I butcher this? Like, I'm like, all these people are trusting me and people had paid to come to my house. So I was like, you better get it together, Abby. Like, people are coming to your house and they've trusted you, so, and then you do it and you're like, oh my gosh, it feels incredible. So set the date and like, you're going to be nervous and you're going to want to like, but then when people are coming and they're excited to be a part of what you're doing, there is no greater feeling than that. Like no greater feeling. And then when people leave and they're like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. You're like, you feel so good because you put all this work into something and people feel validated and encouraged after they leave. So it'll be really good for you, Nancy, when you do it.
Well, everybody I've talked to about it said, yes, I want to come. So,
There you go. There you go.
I've got a community.
Yep.
So
Yep. I love it. Thank you for sharing.
you're welcome.
Okay. Last but not least, Carly, let's bring us in for the home stretch here, girl.
My kids are getting so antsy right now. I can hear them screaming and yelling at each other in the other room. So I'm like, this might be wrapped up real quick for me. They were in here earlier and I was like, turn the TV down, get out. I need silence in here. So that's part of my resistance is my kids. And I've been doing it. Today was my second power hour that I was a part of. And it was amazing. It's one of those, in the past, I've done like 30 minutes at a time, and I'm really digging into the hours. I see my kids coming in here. Hang on, I'm on the phone. Please wait. Sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. So the hour. So I have like totally blocked it out, and I set my timer ahead of time, and I'm like, okay, 15 minutes before, get the kids settled, whatever they need, and then I tell them, I'm doing this. You cannot interrupt me unless you're bleeding, dying, throwing up. Otherwise, no, stay out. And so it's been so great because you have the way that these are structured have been amazing. They give you like 10 minutes to do this or that. And so I've got, going back to Stacey Whitmer, I've got my list of people that I'm reaching out to. And then if I get a customer reaching out to me during the power hour, I write their name down and go back later on to them or the next day, whenever time allows. And so summertime, super crazy with kids, but doing this 90-day challenge, all I have to do is talk to one person a day. One person, whenever resistance happens, I do it first thing in the morning so I don't have time to think about it because by the end of the day, I've thought too much, talked myself out. I need to say it right. No, first thing, wake up in the morning. I'm scared to death. Same thing as Camellia. My sweaty hands, all the things. So I just, send a quick text, message, whatever it is. And then the next day I can follow up with them, reach out to someone else. Sometimes it's 2 people a day or whatever it may look like. Okay, kids are definitely in here now. So one more thing, how it's going for me is also part of all the things like the soy-free shakes, the gummies, getting one bag at a time. I've started reaching out to, turn that down, please. I've started reaching out to, you can't hear, good.
Nope, we can't hear.
Canceled customers who, for whatever reason it may be, I reached out to them. Hey, just want to let you know that you can now buy one bag at a time, or the Children's Health Study. Now you can do it. Kids can do it from 4 to 25 years old. And I have one lady, she used to be a partner. I think she was a customer and then signed up to be a partner. She wasn't consistent, so she canceled like years ago. Reached out to her and she ordered the quad just to sign her kids up. She was like, oh, they can still get it for free. So I was like, okay. So basically what I want to say is just do it. Do the thing first thing in the morning. If you're scared to death, reach out to new people, follow up with people you've talked to in the past, take care of your customers. They'll refer people to you. And also check in with your partners. I have fallen short with my partners that as soon as they sign up as a partner, my mind thinks of them in the business aspect. But I forget if they're new, I need to treat them as a customer. So, and I mean, even if they're old partner, but I need to treat them as a customer until they're confident and comfortable and they take care of themselves. So
I love
that's
it.
kind of that.
I love it. Thanks, Carly. Okay, so great tip, canceled customers, which, Kathy, did you get a full report of Terry's? She had mentioned to me like having a report of all her canceled customers. Did you call corporate for that? Like of all time canceled customers? Do you know if we can call corporate for that or can we get it on our virtual office?
You should be able to go into your old virtual office
And get it. Okay.
and of course, look at some of your old PVC reports,
Okay.
especially in the past 5 years.
Okay.
They're probably still in your deleted file.
Yeah.
And there was a point at which when they were working on the new system, there were all of these customers on there. I don't know who else remembers when it looked like that. And there were just all of the P's, all of the canceled, all of the delinquent for forever, when we're in quite a few of those old PVC reports, or not PVC reports, customer genealogies.
Right.
And it's priceless. My biggest thing is going back in to see the old P's, the one-time orders that
Okay.
were so popular for a while. Go back to them, especially now that they can order one bag of complete at a time.
Yeah.
And we can get them back into the system and back into doing their thing.
I love it. Okay. That's a great tip. So if you're watching the recording on this, or you're wanting to add more people to your list, talking to people that you talked to a couple years ago is having a conversation with somebody. So don't feel like just because it's been a little while since you've talked to them that you can't, they be one of your people. Were you going to say
One
something?
of the other things that, remember, if you can get it going back into the old virtual office, that customer, if you clicked, then all of your customers went into your address book. Does everybody know how to find their address book? Does anybody not know how to find the address book? Okay. And you don't know how, or?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. The address book is you go to on the old virtual office. When you go in there under customers, then you're going to see a link called address book. You click on that link. You can't really easily download all that information, but it's all there and it's alphabetical. So you can go through one person at a time, remembering who they are, or maybe not, but you can see if they had ordered something, it'll all be in there. So you can take a look right there.
Perfect. Okay. And then the last thing I just wanted to say, guys, to wrap this up is, and this kind of ties into what Stacy had talked about, her call and like the hot hands list and never throwing away a memory jogger. I have this planner. This was from January. And I wrote all my names in, every single day for the week that I was going to reach out to, and then I would cross names off. And so this is I'm not throwing this away because it has all these names in it that I will use towards the end of the year as I start looking into 2024. And I also think there's something really rewarding and satisfying about looking at a list of names and being like, oh my goodness, I reached out to, 10 people that week and 3 of them are now customers. Like that's a great feeling. So keep your paper, keep it all. And just like, those are things refiltering people and continuing to drip on them. So I hope tonight encouraged and inspired you ladies. Thank you for being a part of this evening and sharing. And I hope you guys have a great night, and we will see you next week. Bye, y'all.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Abby.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Abby.